All right, welcome back to Denoised. It is time for the AI Roundup. You ready, Addy?
Always ready, Joey. AI Roundup. Here we go. Yeehaw.
What do we got? We got Kling.
Is that getting old?
I don't think so. I think this time we're going to have to change your hat. What do we got? Z-Image, Runway, a new Seedream model, a lot of stuff. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back, Addy. I'm glad we're doing this one remote since you...
Yeah, there's a contagion in this household right now. So yeah, thank you for not being here, Joey.
Thank you. Thank you for the consideration. All right, so busy week. I don't know, what do we say? Christmas came early from the AI companies.
It just keeps coming.
They really dropped them all after Thanksgiving. And every time we've kind of been delaying recording the episode, and then I'm like, but like it's a hot topic, and then a new model comes out that morning. So
you're so smart on your timing. I was like, let's go today. Joey's like, one more day. Seedream comes out.
Wait for it. All right. So I think, well, we got a bunch, but I think the biggest one, especially the one I've been seeing on my feed a bunch, is Kling's new multimodal model, O1.
O1. Omni 1?
Yeah. Kind of being described as like the Nano Banana of video. This one, multimodal understanding, you can give it an existing video, tell it what you want to change. Similar to Runway Aleph, but the outputs I've been seeing from this look a lot better, a lot more consistent, a lot sharper.
Yeah, what is it? Is it native 1080p or 2K? What are we looking at resolution-wise?
You can upload a video up to 200 megabytes, 2K. I think the output's going to be 1080, but I don't see it. Confirmation, but I think it'll be, it definitely would not be more than 1080, but
1080p feels like the bare minimum in today's video generation world.
Yeah, for sure. And if it's like a true 1080, because even with VO, it's sort of like, if you work in Flow, it's like a 1080, but you have to up-res it. So it's really 720 and you're kind of up-resing. A true 1080 is good.
Yeah, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe most of the diffusion models, image and video included, are square kernels. So it's either like 1024, 1024, or, 1280, 1280, whatever. None of the video models natively run at 16:9 aspect.
Okay, yeah, so they're kind of just faking it.
Yeah, they're probably generating something bigger and then cropping the top and bottom to give you that cinematic aspect ratio.
All right, so yeah, some of the examples I've seen. So like really you can give it a video similar to what we've seen with Aleph, but much sharper. Remove objects, change people, change locations, change scenes. I've seen another interesting trick where you can give it a video input with an overlaid still image. So in this one, they kind of gave it a video.
Just like Nano Banana.
Yeah, but in this case, it's actual video. So you can give it this video input and then say composite this car and change the style of the landscape to look fuzzy. And so we get this Kling O1 output with the car composited driving on the street, super accurate. And this one they did a test against Aleph, and you can see Aleph sort of kind of just did some sort of kept the scene, but did a bunch of random stuff.
That's interesting that this is happening. As far as the entire ecosystem of all the models goes, O1 is being compared more to Aleph than it is to VO 3.1 because it's essentially a video-to-video model.
Yeah, and I think Aleph is the only thing that we've really had so far where you can give it an existing video and through a text input or image input, modify elements of that video. There hasn't really been anything else that can do that. There was sort of the VO3, you could modify the video, but that only worked on a video that you generated in VO, and then you wanted to change later. You couldn't just upload a video and change it.
Right.
Kling, this one's the only one outside of Aleph where you could. I'm sorry, I will also, in fairness, Luma Ray 3 modified video. Yeah, you can also do something similar, but I had similar outputs to Aleph with that, where it would just kind of sometimes do it, sometimes make it a bit too mushy.
Yeah, so it seems in our world of film and television, the most applicable models are obviously going to be Kling O1, Aleph, Luma Modify, and then VO 3.1 for any type of text to video, image to video.
Yeah. And maybe we got another update from Kling that dropped today, in addition to Kling O1. Yeah. This is a demo video from Martin LeBlanc at Free Pick of a Kling hype video that they did. And so you can kind of see this sharp detail with different character reference images, character performances. I would say you could also try this as a kind of, I'd be curious, for character performances, how this compares to WAN 2.2, because you could kind of do that same workflow of have a live actor human performance and then give it a reference image of another character. It sounds like a good comparison, because I also haven't really seen, I've seen a lot of Aleph comparisons or Nano Banana comparisons. I haven't seen any WAN 2.2 Animate comparisons, so it could be good for that.
You're giving me ideas for my next tutorial video. Thank you for this.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, this is mind blowing how good even the demo videos are, because I don't know if you remember when we started this podcast about a year ago, having temporal video consistency was a big deal, right? Like as you have like a face and the camera rotates around you, like just having the face be a face as the camera is moving was challenging enough. And now that problem's totally solved. And so we're on to the next part of the problem, which is fidelity and resolution and quality.
This looks good. I would love to know, though, with all of these hype videos, I would love them to do a video and have like a counter of like what number generation this was. Kling I'm a little maybe less suspicious of, but when we get to Runway's output sometimes, I find I have tough time replicating the results that they demonstrate. We could go off on Runway. I think we have the Gen 4.5 release on our AI roundup. Yeah, it's coming up later.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Runway then.
Yeah, I've heard Runway, the 4.5 has felt a bit like the meme of the pool and the Runway was the hype for the day, and then now it's kind of at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, it's so brutal being an AI company nowadays. I mean, your model hits the market and within 6 hours, it's outdated or trumped by something else. It's crazy. It's good for us because, hey, we can do 2 of these episodes and we can not have like enough time to cover everything.
I know. Okay. Other Kling thing. So Kling O1 wasn't the only news this week. This morning that we're recording this, Kling 2.6 dropped. And this is, let me look at the inputs, but the big thing with this is it could do audio, so it's kind of a bit more in line with VO3.
VO 3.1.
Yeah, generating audio with the outputs. Let's see what else we got here. We've got some demos from fall of character performances. I will say the voices sound pretty robotic and not that great in this astronaut clip.
Tell my family I love them.
Oh,
the stars are beautiful from here.
That's the uncanny valley of audio, Joey.
Yeah, it's not that great.
So making a similar comparison then, would you say that WAN 2.2 Animate and Omni 1 are more or less 1-to-1, and then WAN 2.5 and Kling 2.6 are 1-to-1?
Oh, that's a good comparison. I think from the quick look that I've had, I think WAN 2.5 and Kling 2.6 seem to be kind of on par. WAN 2.2
as well as VO 3.1.
As well as VO 3.1, yeah. WAN 2.2 Animate, I mean, that can only do one specific thing. Whereas Kling O1, you can do this character performance transfer, but you could also just modify your video or tell it what you want to change and stuff. So also,
and you could throw a bunch of references into the video generation.
You could do references, yeah. So I'd say Kling O1 is like much more powerful than WAN 2.2. The other thing is WAN 2.2 is limited to like 720p resolution, whereas we are not 100% sure, but we think Kling is 1080.
It's interesting, like late 2025, we're seeing the video models almost hit a fork in the road and go in 2 different directions. So on one direction, which is the main direction, you have VO 3.1, Kling 2.6, WAN 2.5, Runway Gen-4.5, which is the best image to video you can do. The other direction is take an input video, then modify it, and then output a new video, and that's Luma Modify, Aleph, and now Kling O1 and WAN 2.2 Animate.
Because I mean, the modified video, I mean, obviously has a lot of practical applications, but it's still, like you're basically taking whatever you shot your video at, and then you run it through the model. Now you're kind of compressing that video into whatever the model spits out, which we know, since they have not hyped it, we know it's going to be like a 720, maybe 1080, 8-bit super compressed video. So if you're, professional filmmaker or in a professional VFX pipeline, still not there yet. Obviously, obviously, as usual, this is the worst it will ever be.
It's totally right. Yes, it's like, don't fret on that even for a second, because 6 months from now we can completely overcome this hurdle, right? I think the building blocks are all there to do the video to video, quote unquote, VFX. The last mile problem still persists, which is taking the output from the variational autoencoder, essentially what AI creates, and then making a bit depth, resolution, color space, fidelity high enough to where you can feed it right back into a traditional production.
And have the flexibility that you're used to, because it's like you make the shot and then it's got to fit in the pipeline, and then you got to color correct because you got to make it match every other shot, and you got to composite or blend or, other traditional tools to bring it all together.
Totally. And I think I have not tested Ray 3 yet. I think Ray 3 is a good move in that direction, but I'm sure Google will have an answer for that, right? Sooner or later, VO is going to have some type of HDR capability, maybe past 4K, and then perhaps having the ability to output raw color spaces, right? So you can have way more color adjustability in the post.
And also just like one final note with Kling, so it's a text to video or image to video input. So usual inputs you have there, but it's kind of like if you want to have more control or modifying video, then you would go Kling O1.
What's next, Joey?
Next update.
Ooh, this website looks like it's from 1998.
I don't know why we have this one saved. Gigazine. The next update is from Alibaba, Z Image.
Z Image, yes.
Image model. What do you got about this, Addy?
Z Image is being perceived as the next SDXL. And what I mean by that is it's completely being embraced by the creator AI community as an open source, easy to adjust, easy to modify model. If you remember 2-3 years ago, SDXL was the darling of the creator community because you can easily build LoRa's for it, publish those LoRa's on Civit AI, or perhaps completely fine-tune, full-weight train the model. And it was a basis for a lot of products back then. So SDXL was the basis for Midjourney. Before Midjourney had their own model, a lot of the SDXL folks went over to Flux, and then Flux was born. And so Z Image gives you that same level of capability and tuning. It's fully open source, but with today's quality standards, right? So SDXL is no longer relevant in the quality standard of today's market. But Z Image is, if you're going to go neck and neck with, let's say, a Nano Banana, then this is, I think, in that realm of quality.
Yeah. And they've got 3 different variants. They've got Z Image Turbo, a distilled version that can run on more consumer grade hardware. And also all of this stuff, there's comfy workflows, and you could run this on comfy, locally on your computer or comfy cloud, or
that's right.
It's on it's API.
And that's I think the main appeal is that it's super lightweight, right?
Yeah.
And it can run on lower end GPUs. It can run locally on comfy. So you can go to town on modifying this on your own.
Then they got Z Image Base, which is the non-distilled foundation model, and Z Image Edit, which is for image editing tasks, so more in line with like a Nano Banana kind of editing. But yeah, so we can see kind of this showcase that they have on their launch page. The, as you were talking about, the photo quality of the images are photorealistic, like much more up to date with other higher end locked off models.
Proprietary models. Yeah. Stuff that you don't have the weight information.
So yeah, the quality here is excellent. Also accurate bilingual text rendering, so English and Chinese.
Hopefully other languages as well.
Yeah, eventually. So yeah, I mean, the demos that we see here, it's like the demos in itself, it's like, oh, I've seen this in Nano Banana or other things. But the power here is like, this is a model that is open source. You could download it, you could run it, you could build it into whatever workflow you want.
Yep.
Modify it. Yeah. So it's a very powerful model.
Yeah. And folks like, FAL, RunPod, Replicate, FreePic, like the big AI aggregators of the world, have already ingested this into their ecosystem. So you can go run Z Image today if you like on most big platforms. I'm sure Comfy Cloud is probably going to have it soon if they don't already.
I think it's there already.
Yeah.
And I know I've been seeing some LoRa's and stuff pop up for this already. Yeah. So yeah, this is a good step for open source.
One of the more interesting workflows that I've seen in Z Image is not generating a base layer, but doing an image modification where you're adding detail to an existing generation. So we talked about AI sheen, plasticky skin, and that kind of stuff before. I've seen Z image workflows where you can put an AI image through it, and then it comes out on the other end having much more realistic skin,
sort of like
wrinkles.
An upscaler.
I think much better than an upscaler, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not just pixel resolution, it's actually changing the image.
Okay. That's a good workflow. Yeah, I've seen similar workflows with like Nano Banana as well, of like sort of upscaling and slight style changes. But yeah, to have that. I mean, also that sounds like you could find or build a LoRa that just specifically does that with Z image.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was a LoRa that plugs into Z image's main model for that.
All right. Next up, going back to what we talked about before, Runway. Gen 4.5. So this is a new update to their foundational model. And then we've got the hype reel here, which, as we talked about, I mean, look, the reel looks great, super clear, coherent shots.
Some of the shots do fall apart, but yeah, most of the shots are fantastic.
I would just love to know how many generations each one took to get
70,000, Joey.
This isn't a Coca-Cola ad. So now, to clarify with this too, this is their video model. So this would be definitely text to video. I assume also image to video. They haven't released this model yet. You can't use it yet. They just sort of, I think it's coming out this week for on the platform. But this is separate from Aleph. So this doesn't have anything to do with being able to modify an existing video. This is more just pure video generation.
Yeah, this is, I would consider their flagship product in Runway right now, probably their most state-of-the-art. I did see a couple of podcasts that Cristobal was on right when this launched. And I'm always fascinated by CEO of AI companies, as you know, we've interviewed a few of them. Like what is their internal clockwork? What is motivating them to build the things that they are building? And it's fascinating what Cristobal said. He essentially made a one-to-one comparison to what Runway's building to a world simulation, which is kind of like the Cosmos NVIDIA model or the Google Genie model. And it just happens to do media and entertainment now, but eventually it'll do everything. What are your thoughts on that?
All roads lead to robots. Yeah, we've talked about that before. We're like, all these world models are so the robots and cars can understand the world, because film production applications are like that tiny little bit of the addressable market.
I appreciate the ambition and the vision of these AI CEOs. Like, they certainly need it in a space that's very ambiguous. Having said that, Runway, you guys still haven't cracked film and TV, so don't just move on yet. Like, the stuff is not quite usable. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're doing some insert shots or something. I've found more just from a user experience part, like it takes me more generations to get something usable from what I'm looking for from Runway than it would with like VO or C-Dance. And so I tend to just rely on VO or C-Dance first, because I know the outputs I'm more likely to get what I'm looking for out of like a few shots, and Runway I don't use as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that we always talk about film and TV as like a small slice of the overall market, but it's arguably one of the most difficult of those slices to crack.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe you can't specifically put your finger on it, but we have Uncanny Valley, when something feels kind of off. I will say, like, I'm looking at some of their demo videos, and, the real world understanding in physics. I don't know if this is a shot at the Genie 3 demo, but they have a woman painting the wall with blue paint, which was the good demo in Genie 3 from Google.
Right.
But this shot, look, the guy flipping a mirror back and forth, and it's getting the reflection correct.
That's crazy. Yeah. There's definitely some physics magic going on within this engine for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the physics is definitely better. I'm sure the quality is better. It's just still, I'd be curious to test it out, because maybe it does, maybe you're getting better outputs on the first or second generation versus issues I had before.
Like the success rate is probably much higher.
Yeah. Like, is it getting me what I'm looking for? So yeah. I'm curious to try it out. I got my Runway subscription, so.
Yeah. But again, it's a shame that they dropped the same time as Kling O1, which I think will take the bigger spotlight for the moment, because video is just, like, in my opinion, the more exciting of the two.
Yeah, not to sound jaded already, but it's just like, oh, you do like text to video or image to video, and it looks cool. Okay.
You sound totally jaded.
That bar is, that it's like a gradual input from what we're doing.
We're so past the point of like, oh, look what AI can do, to the point like, all right, but can it really do it? We're more of a realist in terms of what AI capabilities are.
And also, I mean, it's like, we also know it's like, yes, AI is very good. It can make very good looking single shots, like, but can we get the control and quality and stuff to make something more coherent and work in a more professional filmmaking pipeline?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're stating the obvious from the studio world. I'm sure that's what everybody within those four walls are probably thinking about is like, how can we replace our existing pipelines with this stuff,
Right. How can we modify it so that it, works, that this can work into that workflow?
Yeah.
All right. Other update that dropped this morning, one of my favorite image models, Seedream, the the ByteDance.
This is the same parent company of TikTok that makes Seedream.
Same parent company of TikTok, ByteDance. They have Seedream, Seedance. Seedream is the image model. Seedance is the video model. So Seedream 4.5 dropped today. Sort of, I mean, also like, it feels just with Nano Banana and everything else, it feels like just getting up to parity with like what some of the other models could do. More consistency with reference images, more fine-tuned editing controls, better
text,
graphic layouts and design text. Multi-image editing.
Yeah, Nano Banana Pro, I think, came out maybe 6 months too early, and these models are now catching up to it.
Yeah, I will say Seedream is the only one still that does that thing that I like, where it can batch generate multiple images in the same latent space generation. There was a hack someone posted online, and I was talking online with Matt Workman from Cinematography Database. Yeah, great channel, about this, where basically someone was using Nano Banana to create a grid of images, like a 9x9 grid. So kind of same hack, you're getting the image output in the same latent space, so you get like consistent characters and locations and shot variety. And then you would ask Nano Banana like, hey, like upres, frame 3. But Seedream does that in one shot.
Wow.
Like it just gives you the output images in the same generation. Yeah. And I haven't seen any other models do that yet. So I think that's still very cool.
You're right. That is a big differentiator, especially in our world where we need that consistency from shot to shot.
Yeah, I've used it for character, generation and stuff. And instead of just making one character sheet, it's like, just make me like high quality character images of the, of different angles of the same character that I need.
Damn, that reminds me of the next video we're about to drop. I should have used Seedream for exactly what I was doing.
Now you got more video ideas for the holidays. There's no end of testing.
Yeah, how much time I got, right? It's stay tuned to our audience. We have a lot of exciting testing videos and podcasts that are hopefully is going to drop in December. And then we'll get into the new year with a big recap.
This is a good demo from Fall from Seedream of I don't know if this is an input existing image and then they extracted it into a white backdrop. Let me Google map that address
because that's here in LA.
Yeah.
Let me see.
But if that is true, it's basically a picture of a tote bag with like a very small text of like its address in LA and phone number for Canyon Coffee. And then it was extracted and displayed on like a white background. But the text detail is preserved, which this is an issue I've had where just small text and details get jarbled when you do AI transfers.
That is a real place. Canyon Coffee's on Echo Park Avenue. So that's a real bag, probably.
Yeah, so I think this is an input image of this real bag, and then they said, place the bag on a white backdrop. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a huge industry, right? If you're talking about every single e-commerce that is selling clothing, right? All the Fashion Novas in the world and all the Abercrombies or whatnot. They could essentially replace traditional photography with this, which is scary.
I think also once it gets fast enough, like that, and cheap enough, where where the user could do a virtual try-on. I know it's kind of tough now because the cost of the compute to generate that for every user on the website is expensive, but eventually
Remember that Google app that we tested a few months ago, which was supposed to do...
Which one?
Remember the one where I wore a clown outfit?
Which one?
Oh, no. Did I do that twice? Yeah. I think it's... I'll Google it.
I vaguely remember this, I think.
Doppel. DOPPL. Google Doppel.
I have not heard of Google Doppel since we did that.
We did an episode on it.
I vaguely... Because I think we talked about that, and we talked about they had like a kind of like a whiteboard tool area as well. This is part of like Google Labs, right? One of the lab products. But you're saying this reminds you of that, this virtual try-on thing?
Yeah, they not only figured out the images, but also the video portion. And it was a video-to-video workflow. So actually, it was an image-to-video workflow. So that model would then walk and turn And so you could see the backside
okay.
and everything.
So what else we got? Camera controls, virtual try-on details, image quality enhancement, material preservation when editing. So yeah,
it could do a lot
of stuff that seems on par with Nano Banana, but still pretty high quality, and it's just good to have another option out there.
Yeah, and the other thing is Seedream is natively 4K output. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you're getting...
it has really high quality.
Yeah, the pixels are all there for you.
Nano Banana Pro does do 4K now too as well.
Right.
All right, next one. This is an update from LTX, a new feature for them called Retake. And this is interesting because this is in the realm of video modification, but you can give it an existing video and then just mark off a specific section of the video that you want to modify and redo just that section and then preserve the beginning and end. So I like this kind of specific frame modification, which the only other tool that I've seen that could do something similar-ish is Moon Valley, where they sort of have like frame-specific editing. So this is a cool update.
Okay.
The retake demos that I've seen, the quality is a little iffy, but I like where they're going with it.
Okay, so let me understand this correctly. So you give it an in frame and an out frame, and then it'll generate before the in frame and after the out frame?
No, you give it an existing video, and then you can, I guess in their interface, mark a specific section of that. So like here, it's marking like this actor performance is...
Reminds me of Seven or something.
One video take, yeah, bit. And then you mark off this one section in the middle, and then give it direction and change
so it's like
the video.
In painting within the timeline.
Yeah, giving it a specific range of the clip that you want to modify and then leaving everything outside of that range.
That's
untouched.
amazing.
I'm saying that's why the outputs maybe don't feel as natural or realistic, but interesting where it's going. Also, I'm putting aside all the issues of changing an actor performance with or without their permission.
The quality is not there, but the concept and the execution is very interesting.
Yeah, I like this concept of like instead of, I mean, maybe you could do it with Kling O1, and if you give it in the prompt specific timings of like things you want to change, but this like gives you that control of very narrowly, like, I like the rest of the shot. I just, in this very specific moment, want to change this thing.
Yeah, and also it blends in with that overall clip as well because you're just taking a segment of it. So then you don't have to do editing magic to blend all of that.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, interesting take on this. So I'm curious.
And LTX is the one that's left that hasn't been acquired. Invoke and Weavy are already gone.
But they also have some of their own models, though. Like they're not just a tool set like LTX has. I mean, they have this model. They have I think what's called LTX2, which we didn't talk about, but it's its own image generation model. It can do like 50 frames a second. It can do audio output. I think it could do like 1 minute long generation. So it seems like maybe they're not up to par with the quality of some of the other models, but they've been doing other things that the other models aren't doing, like super long generations and higher frame rates. So I think it's a good strategy to like just do something different.
They're definitely unique in the AI ecosystem on what they're doing.
So yeah, some of the use cases for this are rephrasing dialogue, changing dialogue. Again, putting aside the permission issues from performers. Just can you do it? We're focusing on the technical abilities of doing this. The right stuff is, and ethical stuff. Put that aside for right now for this conversation.
Yeah, I think consent and capability are two different buckets in AI at the moment.
Refine, tighten pacing, adjust delivery. This is interesting because what did I just see? I just saw some breakdown of some. I think it was what's his name, Todd, the VFX artist who worked on Star Wars and a bunch of films, and he's big on Twitter, and he also just did like a variety video breakdown of like VFX shots, and it was Dungeons and Dragons or one of the movies, and it was basically like a long breakdown of how the pacing of like the shot of an intro of a character who like rides up on a horse, and then the camera like 360s around them, and then they like shoot a slingshot, and the timing of that shot as they shot it like didn't work great. And they wanted to like tighten it up. And it was like a very long, extensive VFX process to like literally just like cut 10 frames out of this thing to like speed up the pacing. Potentially maybe not in the quality as it is right now, but something like Refine in this feature, whether it's LTX or another model. It's like those kind of use cases where it's just like VFX work that just needs to like tighten or clean things up. Yeah,
directors love to fiddle in post, right? Like this is one of the things that delays movie productions is how many times you want to go back and shoot it and redo the whole thing. So if you can prevent some of that, then great. That's money in your pocket.
Yeah, way cheaper to mess around with stuff in post than on set.
Right.
All right, next one.
Yeah, what you got?
This one's definitely been on the bottom of the pool. Flux 2.
Oh, come on. Flux 2 is great.
Now, I mean, in the world of, this was announced on the 25th. So, we're like a week behind this, and it is in the deep end of the pool,
so
collecting dust.
Black Forest Labs, I find this company really fascinating. They're in Germany, and like I said, some of them went from Stable Diffusion and formed this new company. They are the David and the Goliath, right? Like they are still hand making models and competing with Nano Banana or Kling or Seedream, all these big $1 trillion companies, and they're doing it with 50 people, 100 people. So anything that comes out of Black Forest Labs, I always do a double take because I love rooting for the small guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive what they've done with a small team.
Yeah, Flux Context, if you remember when we covered Nano Banana 1, Flux Context was quite neck and neck with Nano Banana 1. And so this is, I believe, their answer to Nano Banana Pro, which is Flux 2. I would say the only negative thing that happened here is their model is just a little too heavy. So I think it's 90 gigabytes, if I'm not mistaken, of VRAM needed. And most GPUs at home, if you're running comfy at home, you can't do that. So this is really a model that's designed to run on the cloud, on A100 GPUs that are only available on the cloud. So having said that, the quality, the image modification capabilities, in my opinion, with the limited testing that I did, is maybe a good second place to Nano Banana Pro.
Okay. No, that's good to know. And also you could work this more into custom pipelines as well, which Flux was good with. Like whether you can run it locally or not, you could still run it on a cloud inference at Comfy and then add LoRa's and kind of customize this out a lot more than you could with a
the little bit of
pipeline.
Hilarity that ensued was that this dropped the same time Z Image dropped, and Z Image is like, I don't know, I'm going to say under 20 gigabyte. Like it's a super lightweight model. Yeah. And so the creator community, the Comfy UI community, if you will, they embrace Z Image right away. And they're like, whoa, Flux 2 is just too heavy, too big for us to really tweak and modify.
Yeah, it's still good to know about. And I mean, a lot of the improvements are kind of similar on par with what we've seen in the other models. But multi-reference image support, image detail photorealism, better text rendering, better prompt following, world knowledge, and output or image editing on resolutions up to 4 megapixels.
Also, it reminds me of Black Forest cake, which is delicious.
It's a good cake.
Also German, I believe.
Yeah, and there's a variety of models. Flux 2 Pro is their state-of-the-art top model.
Yeah, Flux 2 is their latest and greatest at the moment. And again, so there you go. It's already probably built into Firefly, Fowl for sure. I've seen it on there. I'm sure Comfy has it already. Yeah. So yeah, it's already proliferated into the AI ecosystem.
Did this fold in Context, or is Context going to be...
I think it's a new product. I think Context is probably just a different product altogether.
So like eventually there would be like a Flux 2 Context.
Yeah, I think this is like a proper foundational model for them and a new architecture going forward. That's my guess.
Because it doesn't seem like it's as much about editing existing images, but like generating new images from various inputs.
Yeah, and again, we're so spoiled and so jaded because in today's world, in today's episode, we have Z Image, Flux 2, Seedream 4.5, and if you're going to compare the three side by side, I mean, the difference is minute. They're all really good, and
I know
we're swimming in like golden AI image models.
I know. Yeah, it's just like, which option do I pick for the most photorealistic?
Exactly. And this is just after covering Nano Banana Pro like a couple weeks ago. So like there is no shortage of good technology for you to pick from.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question too. It's like once you get to that point, what makes you decide? We've seen a lot of photorealistic stuff. I think some of the deciding factors, it's like depending on what your project is. And if it's not photorealistic, like we've seen some models just work better with different styles or different types of images or different prompting techniques than others. And also, we don't have a cost comparison, but like it would come down. Images are less concerning than video generation, but it would come down to cost.
Yeah, and I do get image. Like I know we're comparing literally pennies to pennies as far as like inference cost goes. If you compare that cost to like actual photography or actual videography, like it's like 1% of an actual shoot, right? So we shouldn't even be looking at pennies. I mean, whether it's on the cloud. I will say the question that you asked earlier, which model to go with for what. So when you brought up the Seed Dance, or rather the Seedream example with creating 9 images in the same latent space, like that's a very unique thing to that model. And so when you need that, you use that. For the testing that I did, that we're going to show the episode for you guys, I love Nano Banana Pro strictly because of the image fidelity. Like for me, having pixel detail was like number one. So I just went with Nano Banana Pro for that.
Yeah. All right, last one. This one's a quick one. Not generative, but an AI update. TwelveLabs, not to be confused with 11 Labs. TwelveLabs has the foundational models that analyze video, and so they're good for basically turning all of your video library into searchable indexes and doing all sorts of stuff that you want with that. They launched a new version of their model, Marengo 3.0, basically smaller embeddings, faster indexing, temporal and spatial reasoning. So not just looking at individual frames, but kind of understanding more of the context
is
of the
it
video.
A fast-moving object or slow object?
And then a better identity of like images and text inside the videos and stuff. So basically this is like for, if you have your video library and you want to have AI understanding of your content to search or to find things or put things together.
Or if you're building AI agents for production type work, you're going to need the eyes and the brain for it.
Yeah. This is how AI can understand what videos you have that you shot so you can do things with them later. So it's cool to see a new improvement of their model. They've kind of been one of the biggest players in town to do video understanding on a temporal level.
And I saw the TwelveLabs guys at a conference a few months ago. Their presentations are amazing, like the stuff that they show. So big fan of these guys. Hopefully they continue to do good work.
Yeah. So good update here. And that's pretty much our post-Thanksgiving roundup.
That was a great roundup, and I'm glad we waited. We got everything in one episode, and guess what? The next one, we're going to have more, because this industry just can't stop innovating.
After we stop recording, there's going to be more news.
I do want to give a special shout out, and I believe I've shouted him out before. Paul Trapani, thank you for your comments consistently on Spotify. That really helps. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we would love a 5-star review if you haven't done so. It really helps the algorithm more than you think.
Also, Spotify Wrapped is coming out now. And if we have made your top, 5-10 list of podcasts, please let us know. Tag us or send us over your Spotify Wrapped. We'd love to see it and share it out.
Yeah, we'd love to see that.
I'm curious. Links to everything talked about at denoisepodcast.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you in the next episode.